Please subscribe to my channel to help me grow. The phone rang so violently it felt like it struck my spine. I flinched, nearly dropping the mug in my hands as I stared at the screen. Unknown number. Saturday morning sunlight spilled through the kitchen window, warm and gentle, but the voice that answered when I picked up was anything but. "You don't know me," the man said, breath shaking. "But you need to ask your wife why she was at the Harborview Hotel last night." My heartbeat exploded in my ears. The world went strangely silent, as if the air itself held its breath. For a moment I couldn't speak. My tongue stuck uselessly to the roof of my mouth. He kept going. Room 214. She wasn't alone. I opened my mouth to respond, but the line went dead. My hand trembled around the phone. The mug slipped from my other hand and shattered on the tiles, coffee splashing across my feet in a warm wave that barely registered. From the living room, she called out casually, "Everything okay?" Her voice, the same voice that had soothed me through panic attacks, whispered "I love you" in the dark, argued with me about grocery lists, laughed into my neck. That voice felt suddenly foreign, distant, almost rehearsed. I walked toward her slowly, as if afraid the floor might collapse. She looked up from folding laundry, confusion flickering across her face when she saw my expression. "You look pale. What happened?" I wanted to ask immediately. Wanted to scream. But the words lodged in my throat like shards of glass. Instead I asked something small, something pathetic. "Where were you last night?" She blinked. "I told you. Dinner with co-workers." "Why?" Her tone was smooth. Too smooth. Not defensive. Not startled. Just steady. I watched her hands. They never stopped folding. Something inside me twisted, a slow suffocating coil. "Which restaurant?" I asked. She hesitated. Barely. A fraction of a second I could have dismissed, but didn't. La Venera. They closed last year. She froze this time. My breath grew shallow. My mind warred against itself, begging for another explanation. Maybe she misremembered. Maybe she lied for a harmless reason. Maybe someone had made up the call. But the tiniest shift in her posture destroyed all of that. Her shoulders sagged, just slightly. Not guilt. Resignation. My chest tightened. "Tell me the truth." Seconds ticked by in oppressive silence. Finally, quietly, she said, "You weren't supposed to find out like this." The room tilted. I felt something break in me. Not loudly. Softly, almost politely. "Who?" I whispered. She swallowed. "Someone from work. It was just once. It was stupid. I was lonely. You've been distant and I made a mistake." Her explanation felt like sandpaper scraping across open wounds. Lonely. Distant. Mistake. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. I could only feel the world closing in around me in a suffocating spiral. I stepped back, grabbing the nearest suitcase from the hallway closet. She stood up abruptly. "Wait. What are you doing?" I looked at her, vision blurring. "Pack your bags." Her face drained of color. "You're kicking me out." "No," I said, voice flat. "We're both leaving." "For what?" I set the suitcase down between us. "To go see who else knows the truth. Because I'm done living in a house where lies breathe easier than we do." This time, it was her turn to tremble. And for the first time since the phone rang, I felt something like clarity.